Too many players have trouble with mulcharmy Fuwalos and mulcharmy Perulia. In this video, I will show you how to ignore that card and in any deck that you play. Every single good deck has an in, engine, out to defeat it. You just have to be creative enough to find it. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, you probably just don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Player on planet Earth. Yu-Gi-Moto and Kaiba combined have nothing on me. And in this video, I'll show you how to do exactly that. If you guys like what you see in this video, check out my meta file down below where if I'm giving away this info for free, imagine the type of gems I drop on my Metafy. I have an every single day class for Metafy members that I host. You get 50 hours a month of Trif coaching, as well as a 130-hour database of my previous classrooms for 50 bucks a month. It's insane value. With that being said, let's get straight into this video. I'm going to show you guys how to play around it with Yummy to start. Yummy is the deck that I believe is the best deck that no one's prepared for this format, because it does things like I'm about to show you. Everyone like I'm not even talking about going snatchy on level 1. I'm going to show you a real way to do it. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck. I'm going to draw any random hand. I'm going to draw any random hand. I'm going to show you that you could do this 1,000 times over. Doesn't matter what hand you have, and every single hand, no matter what it is, whether you draw all 5 Yummy cards, whether you draw Ash, whether you draw Called By, truly irrelevant what you draw, you will always be able to play around it every single time. Thanks, Dueling Book. Y'all see that? Dueling Book is not even prepared for the power that I'm about to showcase right now. So let's begin. For this hand, this is my pure Yummy variant. I'm going to just show you every way possible. In fact, you know what's an even better way to do it? Why don't we get 4 blanks? Okay, even 1 Yummy does it. I could literally show you this with 1 Yummy, but so let's do this. I'm going to activate Pure Erase here. I would get Jester, but yeah, get Jester. But I want to show how one hand does it. Doesn't matter. Well, or a few cards would do it. Get this, get your surprise. And in this game state, this is my pure Yummy list. This is where you get hit with Fuwalos. I'll tell you what I'm going to do to Fuwalos. Tell me right now in the chat right now. I'm live on Twitch right now. All the Twitch chat, tell me right now. YouTube, if you're watching live, tell me right now. What are the top 3 most played decks of the format? Draco Tail, Radiant, Draco Tail, Magistus. Maybe you could throw in VS. You will definitely see. I'm telling you, Yummy will be there. Yummy will be a top 3 most played deck. By the time the format's over, Yummy will be a top 3 most played deck. With the exception of Yummy, none of those decks give a fuck about Nibiru. Nibiru is not anywhere to be seen. Anywhere. Also, my bad. I didn't know my Twitch chat is full of grandmas and grandpas. Wake the F up, Twitch, YouTube. Look at this. You guys are watching this video live down the line on YouTube, and all of my Twitch and YouTube are asleep. Just like everyone not playing Yummy this format. But I will show you guys how to do this. So you got hit with Fuwalos, and I'll show you why Fuwalos is utterly irrelevant in this deck when you ignore Nibiru, because Nibiru does not exist in this format. So they just hit you with the Fuwalos. I'm gonna go into Fuwalos in my deck and just say that this Fuwalos is their Fuwalos that they just hit us with. Congratulations to the opponent. They still lose the game. What you're going to do now is you're going to go into Snatchy. You're going to get 1 measly draw here, but don't worry, that will not be the last of the draws. Going to get Minion. In this game state, I'm going to use Minion to summon. If they imperm anything or bell anything, cool. They're just they're helping you kind of. So what your next line is now, regardless of what's in your hand. I don't care if this looks crazy to you guys. I don't care. The way to do this is you need to end on a link 1 and sync a synchro 2 on your board. So make the judgment call yourselves how you want to approach this. Me personally, I am ignoring Fuwalos. I'm going straight into Lollipop. I will go Lollipop to summon these 2, and they will now have 2 draws. I'll explain why. You're going to give them 3 draws in total, but I'll explain why. If you don't need to go Lollipop if you have the Yummies in hand. I'm playing this as a 1 Yummy combo to show you guys. You could not go into Lollipop if you have enough Yummies in your hand. You go into this and you get Cupsy, and you now put Cupsy in the EMZ very specifically. You search your Yummies. I'm going to replace these 2. I'm going to replace the Cupsy and the Marshmallow. Well, you'll always have at least 1. I want to show a real hand here. Let's replace the Marshmallow, for example, with a random hand trap, whatever, Veiler, shit hand trap, whatever. Just to show you that it doesn't matter what cards are in your hand. You don't need 5 level 1s to play around it, because I'm actually going to end my board with a full board of level 1s. But because Yummy special from hand, they don't trigger Fua. Now, you're not doing this under Maxi. Thankfully, Maxi is not legal in TCG, thankfully. But what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to get a Marshmallow. You're going to want to get the level 1. You're going to discard something random here. Like, for example, Perulia. Next, you're not going to summon Marshmallow yet. You're going to special cookie. If you have the Cupsy, you could do it. Here's what you can do now. You ready? Now, what I'm about to show you now plays a bit harder into Imperm, but this format, no one's playing Imperm. No one's doing it. Okay, no one's playing Imperm. They're playing cards like other cards, like, you know, maybe they'll play Super Poly or whatever. But this is what I like to do. Pay close attention to this line. It's genius. I'm going to go declare the effect of Marshmallow and chain surprise. I want to end my turn with a link 1 like this, allowing Marshmallow to hit the board, allowing Marshmallow to add the surprise, to add it. This way, you can end on a link 1 without giving them a free draw. If you have the lollipop here, it's free monsters to play with on their turn. And then if you have another level 1, I would summon that too, and I would pass. This gives 3 draws, so 2 draws really, because the Fuwa replaces itself for one of them. So they get 2 free draws. Unless they start with Rahu, this end board is unbreakable. It's an unbreakable end board of 10 interruptions. On your opponent's first action, you're going to, you ready? Look at this. Currently, there's 1 card in the grave, allowing the trigger of Lollipop to be a legal activation. You will be activating the effect on their first effect. You're going to chain this, to which you're going to always put the Lollipop back. Lollipop goes in the main monster zone. Cupsy goes in the extra monster zone, because you want to resolve. Now, this is the only time you don't do this board is against Draco Tail, because this does not solve Rahu. I like to emphasize this. This does not solve Rahu, but against any other deck, Radiant or any other deck, period. This does not start Rahu. Rahu is different. Fuwa Rahu is the bane of Yummy's existence. But against Via's K9, against any deck, Mitsurugi even, we have a Mitsurugi, we have a Murakumo out. It's only Rahu, because Mitsurugi, by the time they get, you know, Habakiri, Saji, you could resolve so many effects, you don't give a fuck. You don't care. This deck needs 1 action to lead to infinite Omnis. So on the first action, you use that and you chain Snatchy. You're going to put away the Cupsy, not literally, but just for this moment, to go into your choice of Synchro 3. Now, in this game state, we had 1 extra level 1 in Cupsy. It was 1 extra level 1. You don't need that level 1. You could literally do this with 1 Yummy card. You go Marcher, your Synchro 2 would resolve, and then the Marcher resolves. Watch what's about to happen here. Dueling Book cannot even handle the genius. You resummon this with Marcher. If you want now, let's say they summon a monster, you could draw and pop. So you could do both if they summon 1 monster. Like typically on their first play, it'll be like, I don't know, summon monster effect, like Cupsy effect, just as an example here. Draw whatever card. And now what you're gonna do is this is all through Fuwa resolving, and you give them 3 draws. So I'm gonna give, even if they have 6 pushes they lose, you're gonna Synchro on their turn more times than they're able to summon. So still on their turn, you're gonna put these into Cupid Pitch, using Cupid Pitch effect to add. Using this again, as you see, you have an exact number of monsters. Using this to get even more follow-up here. You can add the surprise if you want. This is only specifically against Draco Tail that I would not advise doing this against, because of the first action of Rahu. And I will not repeat myself, because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players have this tendency to be like, oh yeah, but I use Sphere Mode and Lava Golem, and then I activate Rivalry of Warlords for my deck, and you lose. In reality, that's a fake reality. I live in actual reality here called Planet Earth. So as long as it's not Draco Tail, as I said, every other deck loses to this. Against Draco Tail, you need an answer to the Rahu immediately after Fuwa. Yummy every deck has trouble to Fuwa Rahu. If they don't have Fuwa, now I'll explain. Now, let's say they don't Fuwa you and they start Rahu. This is what happens when you're under Fuwa. When you're not under Fuwa, this deck searches Retaliating Sea post side deck to deal with Rahu start. So in this game state, you get your double search off to get even better follow-up. You get the Piri Rays for next turn. You get Marshmallow for next turn. If you're going first, the Cupid Pitch will get you Sangan to game 1, add Ash to stop Rahu, or get Retaliating Sea so you could start your turn by ignoring Rahu, and then your monsters will deal with all the non-spell starters. Then on the next action that they're gonna do, you're gonna use the effect of your Diabell on the next act. This is all 1 action, by the way. So let's say they go Habakiri Saji. Saji adds spell. That's cool. All this is happening with 1 action. It's not 1 effect. Like, I don't need to chain Synchro 2s multiple times. You only need to chain a Synchro 2. Like, you just need them to enter main phase and use any effect. In fact, they don't even need to use an effect. They just need to enter main phase and allow you to do something. So if they say enter battle phase, it's too late. As long as they give you priority in main phase, like, as long as they pass priority to you in main phase and your Snatchy could start using its effect, the Snatchy's effect is main phase only. You're gonna get to what I'm about to show you of the end board. So you already got to a cookie, okay? And now they use an effect, your Diabell will summon out Zalin. So this is gonna be a free negate that stays. And the reason that I said allow them to Murakumo you is As soon as that's done, as soon as you summon the Zalan, you also use this now to go Chaos Angel on the next play, making all your shit protected. And you do this, by the time they get to that, you have another effect too, allowing to use both to get to the cookie. So you get your, I'll start naming all of our interruptions here. You get the cookie pop. This is from one interruption. You get the Zalan Omni Negate that you'll use at your own pace whenever you want. We also have a free Yummy surprise here. Surprise has not used its effect yet whatsoever. That you save at any time. Andrew Udall on YouTube says this comment. I don't know if you're deaf or something. I almost want to ban you from my YouTube for being an idiot. I have low tolerance for noobs. I specified many times that this is not the line you're doing with Draco Tail. With Draco Tail, you're doing another line. So I like to emphasize, this is not Farfa's chat. This is Trif chat with a much higher IQ. Thank you. So anyways, so you're going to get your cookie pop. You're going to get your Zalan Omni Negate. You're going to get your Chaos Angel Banish. It's all in one action through Fua. Chaos Angel Protect, which I'm not even going to consider as an interruption, because that's kind of just like free. You're going to get double follow-up, triple follow-up. You're going to get your surprise. You're going to get your cookie book, and now it keeps going. It's not done yet. Not even close to done yet. And then you're also going to get the Lollipop Banish, the Akroki, which you're going to summon. And then your last free interrupt is this. So you get 8 interrupts on your turn, your opponent's turn from one card, and a Jaro. I don't play the Synchro 11 anymore. I opted to play a Starham because Starham allows you to play better with one Snatchy, but you'll get the Akroki, you'll get the Lollipop, and you'll always have one free body to get to the Melfi because you're going to summon the Cupsy, which has not used its effect yet. So you're going to get the free one of that. Then you're going to get this. You're going to get your surprise anytime you want. Let's say you use this just to get this as a follow-up. This is not there yet. And then you win the game. 9 total interrupts with infinite follow-up on all your shits protected. 9 interrupts, and that includes now all the 4 remaining draws, leading to 12 interruptions versus Fuwalos. You guys be the judge here. This is how you play. This is a way to play around Fua against any deck that's not start Rahu. Be the judge. Is it 12 interrupts not enough? You start your turn with 8 cards. I get that, but 12 interrupts versus 8 cards is still game. And you get infinite follow-up. This also doesn't include like your last card, Yummy, Cupsy Way will add a card. All right, so that's one way to play around it, where this is 12 interruptions versus a Fuwalos. It's very good to have this option in your deck. When I showed Solfachord Yummy a few days ago, I'm gonna show it again. Solfachord Yummy does not have all these extra synchros through the Fua. So the way to play around it, if you're playing Yummy Solfachord, I have a free Yummy Solfachord spreadsheet that's on my Discord. You can get it. It's just free for you guys. Now against when you Fua it, this is why pure Yummy has that advantage, where you're able to get the under Fua you could do those things. With Solfachord, it's a bit different. With my Solfachord play through Fuwalos, you either self-droll, called by, cross out. You have 7 kind of answers or talents. You have like 8 pseudo answers. But the Solfachord way to play around it is very similar. People say Solfachord loses more to the Charmies and Droll, and I thought the same thing. I'm gonna show you guys an average hand of Solfachord. Okay, this is different. I want to show how a Solfachord does it. One sec. Substitute one of these. You go summon Promoa. You add Happiness. Give you an example. Activate Happiness. Happiness effect. Discard. You're gonna want to get these. This is an example. I'm gonna show a few other decks, maybe off the top of my dome, without showing deck lists. I don't have Pure Shitail built anymore, but use special effect add, and at this point they'll Fua. Well, they'll probably Fua after Promoa, but just in case you go Karibo immediately. But at this situation, you get hit with Fua. Every deck has some built-in answer. You need to find it for your deck. I don't play Inzectors. What if you play Inzectors? Now, I don't know if Inzectors has a out to Fua, but every real deck needs something. And I'll go through a few of them. This video is how to play through Fua no matter what deck you have. So the pure Yummy deck I showed you is 12 interruptions. Well, 9 interruptions plus 3 hand traps because you get 4 total draws. Crazy follow-up. You're gonna always win versus Fua if it's not Rahu Ketu start. So you don't do that versus Draco Tail. You don't do that versus Draco Tail. If they Fua it's different kind of style. My current way to play around it in that deck is I'm side decking a Secret Village and I'm letting them draw 7 times. And I'm ending on Secret Village with Zeren. Zeren stop 5 mana, and that's the way I'm approaching that deck now. But I don't think if that's that too good of an idea. Fua Rahu will always defeat many decks. Anywho, so now you're playing Solfachord Yummy. What's your out to Fua if you don't draw one of your called by style cards. Well, you don't need to waste a Link Karibo here. It's almost the same as I just showed you. You'll scale these and you simply pen summon from hand. You don't need to make a Karibo, and these two bodies just stay to play on the opponent's turn with. So you just special your yummies from hand. This way you don't even need to waste a Karibo, and you save these for later, allowing you to get a free Masquerena. On the summon, I would chain block to add this back. I would link one. Actually, I would save this back because this card could be any of them on the following turn. I would put these into Masquerena, and the Fuwa, they haven't drawn one card yet. One draw for Fuwa. Yes, Masquerena on their turn could also turn into the Omni Negate, but this is, to me, slightly more value. This gives them 2 draws now, and you could make the assumption if you want to do a bit more, but if you hard draw a Cupsy in this situation for 2 draws, that's a pretty good end board for 2 draws. But I still might, personally, I don't mind giving them a few extra draws, but this deck doesn't have the extra bodies like the other one does. So it's a bit different. So I would probably end on this because it would be enough. This would give enough. I don't know if my Twitch chat today decides to reach far for level of IQ, but Rado Mathich says you don't have a link 1 to special Cupsy. It's called a pendulum summon. It's called a pen summon, baby. It's beautiful. And this also allows you to pen summon a Fuwalos. Because if you pen summon let's say you draw too many Charmies, you could pen summon a Fuwalos, keep a Promoa, and then on the opponent's turn, the IP could potentially make the Omni Negate if you'd like. So this is another option if you're playing Solfachord, because you get like it's just one draw for IP. That's worth, because it's IPSP, has 2 interrupts. So just another example here, and you save your hand traps. Every deck has some form of good play. And the new way to do Yummy, as I said, I was even debating adding a few enablers for when you do get hit with Fuwa, but the deck has a lot. Self-Droll is another fantastic answer. And another way for Fuwa, I'm gonna just pull this deck up. Yummy, if you're playing Yummy Mitsu, this format, you're a little outdated. Play Radiant Yummy instead. But this is the best way to play Yummy Mitsu. So let's say you have a Mitsurugi card. Let's say you're playing pure Mitsurugi. You can always use Mitsurugi Ritual to ritual a Habakiri from hand, sending Murakumo to the grave, and then Mitsu Mirror. That way they don't get a draw from ritual from deck. Every deck has these innate abilities. I'm going to show a way that Draco Tail does the same. So this is a cool version of Draco Tail that I'm working on that is really reliant on Shaddoll Fusion post side. It's not complete by any means. I'm still working on it. But a way to play this deck through Fuwa is you summon Cartesia on the board first, or get 5 mana live first before you get live for it. So if you have an active way to fusion summon, like a quick effect fusion summon like 5 mana, or Cartesia, for example, Lucius effect, add 5 mana, activate Rahu. If they chain Fuwa, you can at least chain the 5 mana if you'd like, to make it so the Rahu sometimes doesn't even need to resolve sometimes, depending on the hand, of course, to make it in a way that they will draw less. Same applies for Cartesia. These are some cool outside the box ways of thinking to make Fuwa useless. Now I'm going to go over another way to make Fuwa useless, that it only works for some decks. This works for some decks, not all of them. It depends on the situation, depending if you want to play around it, to have multiple quick effects to play around cards. Same goes for Valor Imperm for this deck. Okay, this one now depends on your deck. This is my Yummy Solfachord deck. This deck is very good with Obedience Gold, is very good in the Yummy deck. Everyone knows. Maybe we pull out Yummy Pure for this. No, we'll pull up Solfa Yummy. One sec. Okay, my Yummy Pure already has this. So if we look at my Pure Yummy deck, I play Thrust in my side deck because I would like to side going second against some slower matchups that you don't need infinite hand traps against. I want my Thrust to get Obedience, or my Pot to get Thrust to get Obedience. Well, if Thrust is already in your side deck for that reason, to get a card for going second, Thrust, let's say you play Draco Tail. Let's say Draco Tail Fuwalos is you. Well, post side, if I'm going first, you'll be siding up the Charmies, right? Look at how many answers I have now when I get hit with, like post side, let's say I play Draco Tail. Now, I have Ash for Charmy. I have Thrust to get DDG, which is an FTK against them, and I have Call By. And I have Pot to get one of these 4. So this, to me, gives me, and Talent. This is almost 10 answers post side. You guys see this? Thrust into a trap card that's a FTK against the opposing deck is very much an out to Fuwalos. People have way too much trouble with charmies when you could simply do this. And the thrust play also works if your deck loses to Ash or Droll or Purulia, for example. You're able, this now has 10 outs. Not to mention self-drolling if your deck could do so, or cross out. So this gives most decks 13 outs to their 3 Fuwalos. That's a lot of outs. A lot of outs. And if DDG is not an FTK against that deck, Magic Deflector, for example, is an FTK against Radiant. Dimension Barrier was the perfect one, but that doesn't exist anymore for a TCG. So I just wanted to show you guys all these answers if your deck struggles with Fuwalos. I hope you guys like this style video. I want to make it super informative, and if I'm giving away all this information for free, imagine the info I give away my Metafy when you pay. So go check out down below for my Metafy. Absolutely incredible stuff on there. 50 hours a month of coaching. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Later. Peace.